When Mustang Cali starts to fade out, that's when you come on.
What?
When Mustang Cali starts to fade out, that's when you come on and you start talking about disastrous dates.
Okay, are you going to introduce the segment or mine?
I am.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dr. B, the banjo in the morning. That's a good way to get yourself up out of bed, get your coffee started, get in the car, and down the road so you can listen to On Point with JP and Dr. B.
It is Friday, and a good time to listen and a good time to go.
Absolutely. I'd like to say, just do a quick couple shout-outs. Devonna Ravenhold is listening. Sam Hazen is listening. Virginia Whiteside is listening. They have piped in with us this morning, and so we want to say good morning to them and hope they're having a great morning. Also, we have Perth, Ontario listening to us today. So,
Perth?
Yeah, I'd like Ontario.
Right.
I'd like to say hello to Francois out there, and then Lindsay in Innsbruck, Austria. So we're global, Dr. B.
International.
International. Well, I'll tell you what else is international, folks, and that is disastrous dates. Woo! And I think that our friend Mustang has got us all set up and ready to go for that. So I'm going to be interested to hear her disastrous date and see if it's affected her in the workplace. Because I'll tell you what, I've had some doozies for sure.
Yeah, I think we've all had disaster dates. Mine came 2 years ago. A guy that I had the biggest crush on in high school, over Facebook, after we both graduated, he messaged me saying, "Oh, you're really pretty, I'd like to take you on a date." And I was like, okay, whatever. I had a crush on you in high school, surely it'll work out. We seem to have a lot in common on paper. And he picked me up. Our families actually knew each other. My dad and grandpa actually knew his dad and grandpa. So there was a lot of pressure to kind of make this date work. So we go out. I don't even remember what we do, but it just wasn't fun at all. I'm not saying his name because
Thank you.
Yeah. There's no bad blood there at all. But it just didn't work out, and I think that a lot of people can relate to that. I think what we did, we spent the whole 4-hour date looking for bullets for his gun because he was a big hunter.
And you think that's bad?
And well, it was very boring.
Yeah.
It was very boring. I love hunting too. That's something that you do with a friend, not on a first date.
Well, that is a unusual opportunity.
Right.
So, did he take you to dinner first or after?
He took me to dinner first. He took me to a 5-star restaurant called Chick-fil-A.
All right.
Chick-fil-A.
It was very good.
So you must be out in the sticks then.
Oh yeah.
5-star restaurant, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it was very good, but
Now, did that impact your work the next day?
Well, I actually had school the next day. I wasn't working yet. I just remember calling my friend the day after and I was like, "You're not gonna believe this. I went on a date with this person. I had a crush on him in high school." And she was like, "Oh yeah, how'd that go? Did it go well?" I was like, it didn't go well. It was interesting.
5-star dinner at Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Bullets and Chick-fil-A. Who doesn't like bullets and Chick-fil-A? Action Jackson, don't you take all your dates to the bullet store first?
Yes, and Chick-fil-A sauce.
One pickle, one Chick-fil-A sauce. I mean, hey, everybody's got to make money.
That's right. It doesn't get better than this.
Bullets and Chick-fil-A. Well, I'll tell you what. Woo! Well, also, you could kind of relate that to business deals going bad. If you think about it, sometimes you hit or miss on a date. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Excite missed on their Google date. If one of the biggest blunders in the history of business, in 1999, Excite was the #2 search engine, and Google was the new kid on the block, right? Well, Larry Page offered to sell Google to Excite for $750,000. Yeah, I didn't say $750 million. Yeah, $750,000 Excite could have bought Google. Yeah. I mean, there should be some dead airspace there, right? And they passed up on it. Now, and the only stipulation, and this may have been the deal breaker, and I love this, is that Excite would have to replace their technology with Google search technology. Oh my God. Now, of course, what do we say now when we want to look something up?
Go to Google.
Let's go Google it. Yeah, because he does. He's Googling something. And so Google now has more than 60% of the US search market share and a much larger share worldwide. And Google has more than $130 billion in assets. It's now worth 173,333 times more than what Excite would have paid for.
Wow.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
kicking himself.
Never judge a book by its cover, and don't be afraid to go out there and use the word Google early on. You know, maybe if Mr. Bullets would have used the word Google, he might have had a better day. So yeah, so you know, we not only have disastrous dates on our own, but businesses have had some pretty disastrous dates as well. I'll tell you what, folks, you're listening to On Point with JP and Dr. B. This morning is our open lines morning. We open the lines up to anybody that wants to call in at 214-787-1160. We're talking about disastrous dates and if they've impacted you in the workplace. And to kind of get you started, yesterday we had Cleo Marchese on. She's our internationally certified lactation consultant. Of course, I called her our breastfeeding consultant because that's what I thought it was called. But nonetheless, she gave us her disastrous date. And it, in fact, was somebody in the workplace that had referred this gentleman who was in commercial industrial paper. Well, when she got on the date, she found out what he sold was toilet paper to companies. And it was a coworker that had referred the date to her. And so going back to work the next day, instead of being highly productive and talking about work, what did they talk about?
The date.
Yeah, the date that she excused herself to the bathroom and never returned back to.
Right. She said that she went to the bathroom and just kept on going.
The irony of going to the bathroom.
Fortunately, in those days, the cell phone wasn't quite as available, she said, and so she just kept going.
Just kept going, kind of like a roll of toilet paper. Just keep going. Yeah. So you know, so folks, you know, if we're not careful, especially as managers and CEOs, and I'm a manager, I've got 5 people under me. If an employee comes back from a disastrous date and a coworker has been the one to refer them, you know, there may be a little backlash in there. And so I would discourage fellow coworkers from recommending dates that may turn out to be not so good. So Dr. B, I know you've had to have a disastrous date.
Never had a disastrous date in my life. It's always been good. I mean, you know, everybody. Actually, it's just that I can't remember that far back.
Is that what it is?
No, I do remember in college going out with this young lady that I thought was, you know, just really the right one. And I went to pick her up, and I was disturbed when she came out. We were going to a nice restaurant. It wasn't just Chick-fil-A.
Wasn't Chick-fil-A?
McDonald's, I think. But
McDonald's.
Wow.
Somewhere like that. But well, hey, it was college, you know.
Right.
Back in those days, you subsisted. If you didn't go to a cafeteria on campus, you subsisted on McDonald's. Anyway, she came out, and the first thing she said to me is, "I hope we don't go to McDonald's tonight." And I probably had maybe $5 on me at that time, you know, and well, it went downhill from there. Let me just say that.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. It was one of the shortest dates I ever had.
Oh, I bet it was.
Did she go to the bathroom and not come back?
No, she didn't go to the bathroom and not come back, but I did circle around to her house pretty quickly. Dropped her off.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Well, that's all right. That worked out, you know.
Well, it did, but you know, just kind of like the work situation. The problem was she was in a class that I was taking at that time, and the next class had to see her again. You know, I think I probably skipped a couple of classes.
Yeah,
Oh, I bet you did. Now, Action Jackson, I know you're a man of the town. I mean, I look at you. You're regal. You got it going on. You take girls for bullets and Chick-fil-A. Yeah, one pickle's good.
Pickle.
So, disastrous date. Oh.
Never do that.
Nuh-uh.
Come on. First impressions are everything.
Blowing
That's why
her
first
nose.
dates are important.
Well, you're a comfortable guy.
Yeah, that goes a little bit beyond. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you tell me it was Chili's, I don't know if I can have too much more respect for you there, actually.
Hey, I like Chili's. Chili's is good.
You know, you're giving Jake an idea. Date night at Chili's is
No,
all
we
you
go to
get.
Chili's all the time.
Oh, well,
we
well.
love their little burger slammers. They're so good.
You know, we need to start billing these people for giving them
For
ad
the
time.
advertising, that's
I mean, I'll
right.
tell you what. So how did the workplace come back together the next day? Free. Free. You know, nothing's ever free. You're going to pay the price at some
Nothing's
point,
ever
that's
free.
for sure. You know, U.S. News and World Report and Newsweek have both released articles, and so did Business Weekly, in regards to employees that date coworkers. And they have found that 82% of the time when an employee dates a coworker, they find that it does not work out, that it is disastrous for the workplace, not just disastrous for the date itself because evidently it didn't go well, but there becomes a shifting, is what the article says, of personalities in the workplace. And so let's say that you have the same group of friends. Those group of friends begin to magneticize towards the other party, and they become polarized. And all of a sudden you have dissension in the workplace. You don't get as much productivity done. And so I don't know what your policy out there, folks, is when you are running your company or you're a manager, but you know, if you've got employees dating employees, which I think it's impossible to stop them from doing it anyways, but if you do, then you may not have so much productivity the very next day. In fact, Business Weekly shows in their article that about 38% of productivity is what businesses have reported go down the day after a disastrous date with a
They
coworker.
go down 38%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that. And morale goes down for sure as they team up on each side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, stay tuned. We're going to continue to talk about open topics. We're going to have, feel free to call in. The lines are open. 214-787-1160.
That's 214-787-1160.
And we're going to come back and we're going to talk disastrous dates. We're going to talk about historically disastrous business deals. And we're also going to talk about fun things in the news. And I think Dr. B may want to talk a little bit about restaurants, crying babies, and large bills. So stay tuned as we come back after these messages.
Now, when we come back, we have to get your disastrous dates
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, right.
And there are several I could mention
Oh,
that
you
are
have
not
no idea.
available for
Yes.
publication.
All right.
Did you probably weren't up to hear
Great job,
Cleveland
guys.
stuff.
Great job.
That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, so when we come back, so Dr. B,
Yes.
when we come back, bring up judges.
Yeah, this one I just said he's
Oh,
got
perfect.
to just sitting over there controlling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
making
nice.
us our
Oh,
story.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'll go with that. So we need to say real high quick to Ali Chase, Michelle Garza, Kumi Curry, and Lisa Aiken.
And Judge, also have people calling about the bad business deals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good.
I like this stuff.
Yeah.
That may even be as funny or funnier than Bad Day. It's the same thing in many respects.
Yeah. Hey, Chick-fil-A is really good, though.
It is really
Look
good.
at you
I
guys.
love it.
Chick-fil-A's
Unbelievable.
They got this cookies and cream shake.
If you're going to date Action
No.
Jackson, you better watch out. You're heading to Chick-fil-A.
You are.
Because he likes the pickle on the sandwich
If you
It's
don't
the
like
number
your
one.
pickles,
It's the number one on the menu.
and the milkshake. And he says it's the number one on the menu. Just so you get a good eye picture of him there, so we know, just know you're
There
dating
he is.
this guy. You're dating this guy, you're going to Chick-fil-A.
Number one, yeah.
Number one. Now, you might get bullets too. If you like to shoot, that may work all right.
And it's cost me only $10. So
Only $10. Okay, that's another clue. You don't want to date Action.
So when the judge pays me, I can take you out.
Listen to this.
As soon as we make more money, we'll be able to do that.
All right, great job, guys.
Hey, great job. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, there's our Waterford commercial.
JP, what do you think about moving the camera like right there?
Well, the problem is,
Or would that be too low?
well, let's play with it on Monday. Let's get here a little bit earlier. Well, we're going to be here early on Monday,
Yeah.
so we can play with it on Monday. The problem is that this stand
Yeah,